Alright, this isn't really the direction I want to take with my content, but I'm here at the gym, and I'm just so excited to train today. I really don't know why, but I'm just jumping off the walls ready to train, and I really kind of want to share it with everybody. I just want to see what happens, you know? What's the worst that happens? One, I don't upload the video, or two, nobody watches it. It's whatever, but it's a cool experience. I don't really know how I'm going to go about talking in the gym and being in public, and trying to talk to a camera is really weird. But that being said, we are going to do my absolute best to get this video out, and no more wasting time. Let's go. Alright, we're doing the warm-up on the Stairmaster. Dude, I can feel the pre-kicking in. The beta Aline is just itching like crazy. But I actually took it around 30 minutes before I started working out today. So hopefully it hits properly. Hopefully I get a good pump. And after this, we're gonna start bench pressing. So we just did our 6 sets of bench press with the final AMRAP. That was a lot of fun. We're moving on to a tempo overhead press, but the rack's taken, so I've got to wait around for a minute. You're only going to see 5 of them because I messed up on the shot on one of them. But yeah, it was pretty fun. I only got 140 for 11 there at the end, so that's only a 1 rep max of like 180, which is probably not the best I've ever done, but we're gearing up for the peak phase of Bullmastiff, so hopefully everything should work out. Alright, the form breakdown on the 50-pound rear delt fly was just a little much, so I think I'm going to have to drop it back down a little bit and get my form more in check. I had a real problem with those because I was kind of ego lifting and swinging them. Definitely going to have to back down on that weight, but other than that, still pretty good. Alright, that felt a little better. Still really not comfortable with those. I've been doing them for like 2 months now, but never did them before, so it's really difficult maintaining that bent over position. But hopefully to see some gains, because before all I did was, you know, rear delt pulls from a cable machine. But, and I got pretty good at those, and then I started skipping out on them. So I'll probably go back to doing those whenever this program ends, because I genuinely like those better. But, you know, we'll see. Alright, you know, I didn't talk a lot in between the sets. The first set, the 5 sets of bench press, I recorded them all, and I didn't really say anything between them. I know I said before and after. And I also only recorded like one of the rest of the sets because that's a lot of volume. Bullmastiff is very volume intensive, especially because we are at week 9 of the base phase. So the volume is at peak right now. 6 sets of bench press with an AMRAP at the end on the 6th set. Only 4 sets of tempo overhead press, which is weird, but it's cool because I got to ramp up the weight for the first time. I did 65 pounds, which isn't a lot, but when you're purposely making the muscle burn by slowing every single rep down and pausing at the top or the bottom, it's brutal. Then, 6 sets of tricep pushdowns. I made it to 100 pounds on tricep pushdowns, which is cool, because I was stuck at like 60 and 70 pounds for the longest time when I was on my cut. So that's nice. I think the tricep strength is going to boost the bench press like where it needs to be, because I think part of the reason why my bench press sucks so bad is because my tricep strength was not where it needed to be. Biceps, I broke the arm blaster in my gym. I feel really bad about it. I even wrote my name down and like the date and the time that I did it, and I honestly, if they charged my account for it, I really wouldn't be surprised because it was completely my fault. I tried to put it back where it goes and I let it fall and it hit the ground and broke. So I had to do seated dumbbell curls today. I went from 60 pounds for about 8 reps, but then I realized I was kind of egoing that. So I went down to 55 because we have 2.5 weights at our gym for the dumbbells. And I got those for 8, 9, and 10 reps and did pretty good on those. And then the final sets of the rear delt flies felt really good too, especially when I backed the weight down and focused more on the feeling of the muscle. But overall, that was a really good workout. I think now I might go prepare like a big lunch with some steak and some eggs. So I think I'm about to go in the store and come with me. All right, so shit is about to get wicked. 2 steaks, a dozen eggs, half-gallon chocolate milk, probably a lot of butter and some cheese. We're about to make a big-ass meal. I don't know how many of those eggs I'm going to use. 12 is a little ridiculous. 6 is slightly less ridiculous. So I'm probably going to land on that. The problem is, I've never scrambled eggs before. I definitely do not know how to flip and fry eggs. And the only oil that we've got in a large enough quantity is soy oil. And I'm not using that. So, well, anyways. Alright, so. Steaks. First, we got to track both of these so I can figure out the macros. Eggs. I think probably gonna just use a shit ton of butter in this one. Oh shit, it's on. Oopsies. Use a shit ton of butter. Probably cook both of my steaks. And we'll cook the eggs. This cheese. We're gonna go 2 tablespoons first. And then we'll worry about adding more. I don't know whether it's a good idea. I don't know which steak to cook first, to be quite honest. I really don't know. So first of all, butter's melting. Let's turn it down so I don't burn my butter. So first of all, butter. We're gonna add our Italian seasoning into the butter because, I mean, I'm just kind of seasoning the butter. I'll actually season the steaks how I want to season them. Garlic powder, onion powder, MSG, pepper, salt. And that should be plenty enough. So, season side A of the steak. Generously salt it. Okay. Pepper it. This pepper shaker's ass. Onion powder. Garlic powder. Now, a lot of these seasonings are going to fall off when you flip it because you're going to put the seasoned side down to get a crust on it, and then you can season the other side how you want. This MSG stuff is good, but be careful with it. Okay, now, turn the heat back up a little bit. This is a thin steak, but it's also a very, very lean steak, so I got to make sure that I'm monitoring how much oil is in the pan. And once you flip it, the secret is you take a spoon and you spoon the butter back on top of the crust to make it 10 times better. Decent side beef. Garlic powder. And plus, you're only supposed to flip a steak once, I'm pretty sure. Like, if you're trying to go for the ideal steak, but it doesn't really matter. Once that timer is up for 2 minutes, we'll check the underside. But I think it's going to be just about right. This is why I didn't like cooking steak when I was on a cut, because just the raw amount of oil you have to use to make sure that you don't, you know, horribly mess up your steak is insane. And 1 tablespoon of butter is over 100 calories, and when you're on a cut, that adds up really, really fast. When I was in a cut, I would use the cooking spray stuff. Probably toxic for your health. It's just canola oil and whatever else they've got in aerosol cans. But, you know, as Will Tennyson says, calories low, chemicals high. Let's add a little more butter. It doesn't need it, but it will need it for the second cake. So at about a minute, what we're going to do is you're going to flip the pan up, spoon butter back onto the steak. This is another reason why you should be very generous with your butter. If you're just going for flavor, if you're trying to lose weight, I would recommend not being generous with the butter. You might also have to leave it on here for a couple more seconds because I'm lifting it up off the heat. But we probably do need a little more butter. There we go. Cut. Get every corner of the steak, every side of the steak. Set off the heat, timer off. Let's check the other side. I smell it crisping up. I'm pretty sure it's done. Oh yeah. And normally, if this was just one steak, I'd pour all that butter and juice back on there. But we gotta cook a second steak, so round 2. Now this is top sirloin, so this is the actually good cut that I got. And I'm gonna actually compare the flavor between the two because I can't imagine that it is really that much different. I mean, obviously, the top sirloin would taste better, but with all this extra stuff that I'm doing, I can't imagine it's gonna be that much different. Now, texture is where one's gonna win over the other, nearly guaranteed. All right, that should be well seasoned. Put that in there. Let's turn the heat back up. Get our steak in there. That last steak, I mean, it's not gonna be overdone, but I certainly did do it a little too much. I didn't set that timer when this steak went on, so I'm kind of scared. I'm going to be honest. I don't want to flip it too early, but I also don't want to flip it too late. If this timer goes off, I'll flip it. And if I need to flip it again to the other side, I think I can do that. Yep. Flip it. Oh, yeah. All right, and then once again, let it cook a little bit because you obviously want that side to get seared. Oh, yeah. Then I'm going to cook the eggs in this. Those are going to be the best eggs ever. Yeah, see, there isn't so many juices from the steak. I think part of the reason is because a lot of the juices are fat coming off of the steak. So, let's do one more thing. Let's flip it around just to see. Oh, yeah, that's good. Now, here's the problem. Let's not mess up these eggs royally. First of all, bowl. Second of all, egg. Relatively simple. I think I said 6 eggs. I think 6 eggs will be plenty. Oh, that one's gonna have shell in it. Oh, that's not good. Shit. Now I'm gonna add some extra butter to this. This is a big pan, and this is a lot of eggs, and I'm really not in the mood to ruin a pan and ruin all my eggs. That salt really good, pepper really good. I'm not gonna add any onion powder in there because that doesn't seem right, but I am gonna add some garlic. We're gonna put butter in our egg mixture, and there's obviously butter in the pan, so those two combined together should keep this from sticking or burning. This is pretty simple. We're just using a block of cheese and cutting it into smaller pieces. I like them extra cheesy, and there's a bunch of eggs here, so. All right, let's put back on here. Put these eggs back in the stove, or back in the griddle, and let's pour our eggs in there with our butter and our cheese. Oh, I think I poured it in a little too early because it should be sizzling by now. Yeah, see, there we go. Right in the center, it's starting to cook. Probably should have diced the cheese up a little finer. It's not wanting to melt so easily. The color of these eggs are kind of weird though because of the, the steak juices. But like I said, they should have flavor. But actually, I don't know if I want to ruin the beauty of these steaks by putting the eggs on the same plate as them. I think I might have to get another bowl. My only problem is I actually don't know when these are done because I've never done scrambled eggs before. Usually you can tell by the color of it, but like I said, the brownness of the steak juices make it a little harder to tell. I believe they're done. I think I might have even slightly overcooked them. All right. I ate all of it. Yeah. I think I drank about a quart of the chocolate milk. And now I'm going to go for a walk, so that way I don't feel like complete death, even though I still probably will. Anyways, thanks for watching. Really cool being able to do a gym video and a cooking video at the same time. I know it's probably going to be a long video, and there's probably going to be like 3 people who see this end screen. But, if you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, and come back, because there will be more content like this and more content that isn't like this if you didn't like it. Goodbye.